Hey, good morning. I'm Frank Sparks. I'm in for Mike Romine today. Mike's off, and I'll actually probably be in for Mike the rest of the week from the sounds of it. So in the meantime, we're going to have some fun today. We're going to start out, we're talking about a military exposition. It's going to be coming to the Beaver County Airport. We just got done talking with Tom Gargaro at Air Heritage about the event that's going to be happening there, which is Drive and Fly. So now we're going to talk with Chuck Sargent, and we're going to talk about the military exposition that is coming up the very following weekend, which is on the 20th of September. So I'm a month ahead of myself. So Chuck, good morning. Thanks for coming in, man.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. So who'd you bring in tow with you over there?
So I have Dave Castlevetter. He's my public affairs guy. Keeps me straight and makes sure I arrive places on time.
That's a good job to have. That's the best job in the world to have. So, all right. Well, first off, Chuck, let's start off. Tell me a little bit about the military exposition and what exactly is going to be going on at the Beaver County Airport on the 20th of September.
So back in the day, I used to run the Wings Over Pittsburgh Air Show down at the 9/11.
Right.
That started back in 1999, and we were doing it on a regular basis every year, if not every other year. And it just got to a point where it kind of fell off. So what we were trying to do with the military exposition, we had the touch truck last year, is to start bringing back these public events to interact, have the military interact with the local community. And so that's what we did last year. We did it down at the International Airport, and this year we're going to do it up at the Beaver County Airport. Okay. And we're super excited about that.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the military exposition and what we can expect on the 20th.
So we're going to have a great display of all kinds of military assets at the airport. So the one thing that we're most excited about this year is we're actually going to have flybys. We're going to have flybys by the 911th Airlift Wing, which flies the C-17. We're also going to have flybys by the 171st Air National Guard, which flies the KC-135. So that's really going to be the highlight of it, because we're actually going to see some of these military assets in action. But also, we're going to have lots of ground equipment, too. What I'm really excited about, even more than the airplanes, and my fellow pilots will probably make fun of me with this, we're having a couple of howitzer cannons coming out.
Oh,
yeah, it's going to be super cool. And so we have those coming out on display as well as a lot of land vehicles, the JLTV, and other assets from the Army. And then some of the weapons that the soldiers use out in the field. There's going to be sniper rifles, machine guns. There's a lot of things to be seen out there.
That's pretty cool. So let's take a step back first. So you're chairman of the Military Affairs Council, Western Pennsylvania. What exactly is the Military Affairs Council, Pennsylvania?
So the job of the council is that we help the military units in the local region interact with each other for mutual support. So tomorrow we're actually doing our commander's breakfast, where all the commanders come together and they discuss some of the issues that they have and how they can support each other. And the really neat thing about that is we're really not aware of all the military units that are in the local area. Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone knows the big three, which is the 316th Army Reserve Center, the 911th, and the 171st. But we have a Coast Guard unit.
Oh, really?
In Swickley.
Okay.
We have Navy units downtown.
Wow.
We have, and then Army National Guard spread all throughout the local 25 counties here. 23 of them have armories. So there's a lot of military presence here that people are not aware of. That's the idea, that not only the commanders are aware of each other, but now the public, the Congress, and the commerce, everyone's aware of the military presence in the local area. So
how did you come up with this event? With doing this exposition like this?
Well, it was funny. A friend of mine, Jimmy Vitale, and I met for breakfast one morning, and we were saying, hey, we need to get the air show back. Mm-hmm. And so we did that, and then we brought our friend Alan Bross in, and so the three of us said, you know what, let's put an event together with the idea that this will inspire the units to start bringing back the air show in the future. So it almost happened for next year, but unfortunately some of the complications with the International Airport prevented it. But the whole idea is it's what we're leading up to for the air show. And so we started off with a big event last year, had 5,000 people come in. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a big event up here in Beaver coming later in a couple of weeks. And then hopefully we'll bring back the air show. That's the real goal.
So what made you pick the Beaver County Airport?
Well, it makes a lot of sense because it's the central location to Western Pennsylvania, East Ohio, and West Virginia. Mm-hmm. It's a great place to be. It's a very friendly airport. It happens to be a place where I do my flying in small airplanes, so I'm very familiar with it. the board of directors there is absolutely supportive and wonderful, and the connections are all good. So unfortunately, we couldn't do it at the international airport this year. They're having the new terminal come up. There's complications, and they say not this year, but maybe another time. So Beaver County says, come on up. And man, were we happy to hear that.
That's awesome. So yourself, military service?
I was in the Air Force Reserve for 24 years. I'm what they call a reserve baby. I never went into the active duty.
Gotcha.
I went straight into the 9/11th. They sent me to officer school to pilot training, and then I flew the C-130 there for 17 years.
Okay.
And then afterwards went to the Pentagon and did a couple other things. But yeah,
That's
for
sweet.
24 years in the Air Force Reserve.
So love flying, I take it then?
Absolutely love flying. I fly every day of my life.
All right. You still a current pilot or?
Yeah, so I'm a captain for United Airlines.
Oh,
I fly
really?
the 737. And then I'm also what's called a designated pilot examiner for the FAA.
Mm-hmm.
So the two young men that you had just previously,
Right.
I gave them their commercial pilot check rides.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's cool.
So I do both flying. I don't fly in the military anymore. I'm retired now. But I still fly with the airline, and I still do those jobs with the FAA. So yeah, still very active.
Where's the love from flying come from?
Both of my grandfathers. So
right.
my granddaddy was in the Air Force. He started actually in the Army Air Corps back in World War II. He was a bombardier on the B-17. Flew 8 missions, logged 8 takeoffs and only 7 landings because the 8th one ended up under parachute. So he was a POW for 18 months. But came back, got liberated, and went in to fly the B-36 and later the B-52. So a lot of my love for the military came from that grandfather. But my other grandfather, my dad's dad, he flew radio-controlled airplanes. And so I was constantly around aviation, around that. So between the two of them, it was just inevitable that that's what I was going to do.
That's pretty slick. All right. So what's the idea behind having this event? I mean, is this to help recruit for new recruits for the military service?
Yeah, so the number one driver is recruiting. Mm-hmm. So when we first did this a couple years ago, recruiting was pretty low. And so the commanders identified that was one of the big things that the Military Affairs Council could help. So with the support of the Pennsylvania Military Community Economic Commission, as well as Ford, they were able to help us produce this event. And it's all about recruiting and retention. And so we're getting the new people in to come in to join the military, and not necessarily just the active duty, but the Guard and Reserve units local, as well as in the other branches in the Coast Guard, which is, of course, the Department of Homeland Defense. But it's recruiting and retention, but it's also letting the community see what the tax dollars are getting for their money. You can go out and see the assets, so you can ask the questions and interact with the folks. And so it's a real good opportunity for people. It's educational as well. So people to understand what the military is all about and be aware how much of a presence we have here in Southwest Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that there was that many different units throughout, Western Pennsylvania, and actually a Coast Guard unit even. So that's pretty neat to
It gets really deep. There's 13 units here just in the local Allegheny County area. I mean, all the way down to Carnegie Mellon. They have the Army AI2C, I forget what it stands for, but it's basically it's their Futures Command. It's a very innovative cyber technology going on down to CMU, and then but there's a little bit of everything around here. So yeah, there's quite the presence. The Navy has a big presence in their nuclear department, and so there's a lot of military presence around here.
All right, we're talking this morning with Chuck Sargent. We're talking about the military exposition that is coming to the Beaver County Airport on September the 20th, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Looking for a great job opportunity? McDonald's now has full-time and part-time positions available to fit your lifestyle and needs. Set your own hours and have a lot of fun, too. Whatever the situation is, McDonald's has a place for you. Apply today at McHire.com. McDonald's is here for you. I'm loving it.
95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with WBVP, WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com, invite you to tune in to Sounds of Faith. Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 for a mix of the best sacred music of all time. Sounds of Faith is brought to you by Crawford Tire and Beaver, the William Murphy Funeral Home, City Rescue Mission, MRS Physical Therapy, Circle of Friends, J&J Spratt Funeral Home, and Rome Monument and Inspirational Gifts. Sounds of Faith, uplifting, relaxing, and inspiring radio. Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with WBVP, WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com.
Hey, Sarah, how are you? I'm really stressed out and I feel so overwhelmed. My daughter is getting married and then I'm taking care of my mom. I could really use a break.
You should call St. Barnabas Beaver Meadows. They have a really good respite program that can give you the break that you need.
Really? Tell me more.
When I was feeling overwhelmed taking care of my dad, I used St. Barnabas Beaver Meadows respite services. I was able to take him there for up to 30 days so that I could get the break that I needed. They were able to meet all of his needs, and he had so much fun that it was like a vacation for him too.
That sounds just like what I need. How do I get a hold of Beaver Meadows?
Just call 724-495-1600 and ask about their respite services. You can also go online to stbarnabashealthsystem.com.
The Beaver Valley Catholic Prayer Breakfast is Western Pennsylvania's premier gathering for spiritual renewal, fellowship, and evangelization. Join keynote speaker Father Scott Seathaler, guest speaker and State Representative Roman Kozak, and Master of Ceremonies Dan Leroy for an uplifting morning that will feed both body and soul. The Beaver Valley Catholic Prayer Breakfast is on Friday, September 12 at St. Monica Church in Chippewa Township. Doors open at 7 a.m. with a delicious plated breakfast served promptly at 7:30. For tickets, call 724-846-7540. All proceeds support Catholic education through the Angel Fund of Beaver County. For more information, call 724-846-7540 or visit the Facebook page for Beaver Valley Catholic Prayer Breakfast.
Here at Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WNBA, we just love giving away prizes and making winners out of our listeners on a regular occurrence. If you'd like a complete list of the WBVP and WNBA prize contest rules, just visit beavercountyradio.com.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WNBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WNBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WNBA.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another insightful edition of Living Well, a special segment on Beaver County Radio designed to help you enjoy the best, most fulfilling, and healthiest life possible. Hosted by Dr. Joseph Maroon and Jeff Boast, and presented by St. Barnabas. Living Well, Saturday mornings at 8:30, right here on Beaver County Radio, WBVP Beaver Falls, WMBA Ambridge, along with 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM. It's a voice you recognize, the voice of Beaver Valley, coming to you from an all-star quartet, 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA.
We're back here on the live mic. Frank Sparks in for Mike Romai today. Visiting this morning with Chuck Sargent. He is the chairman of the Military Affairs Council, Western Pennsylvania. We're talking about a military expo that's going to be coming up at the Beaver County Airport. And before we get a little deeper into that, let's talk about, since he wasn't here today, let's talk about Alan Bross and how Coney's Moon Township Ford and their role in all this. Alan does a lot here for Beaver County Radio as well, and we appreciate everything he does. But he's an integral part of what you guys got going on at this expo as well, correct?
Ford has been a huge supporter not only of the expedition, the Touch Truck last year, but also of the air show over the last 20 years. They're absolutely instrumental. They're great support, and then they're going to be out there showing the new trucks that they have out there. They have the new F-150. They have the new electric vehicle trucks that are coming out, so that'll be on display. All the newest equipment, so they'll have quite the presence. And I'm really looking forward to seeing those vehicles. I've seen the military stuff, but
right.
I get excited about the new trucks.
Right, exactly. So, all right, so we're talking about, you said they're going to be on display out there. So what are some of the other things that will be happening? We'll get into the vehicles here shortly, but what are some of the other things that will be happening? Will be food trucks and things like that, or anything for people?
Sure. The core of it, which is our responsibility, will be the military assets. They'll generally be in the center of the ramp, but Air Heritage will have their aircraft on display there, so that's a huge part of it. Also, the local flight schools will be out there as well. And this is really cool. If you want to go up and fly that day, those flight schools will be offering incentive flights to go out and fly. So if you really want to go up in the air and go fly, the local ACES Aviation and Moore Aviation will have their airplanes out there with instructors who, it'll just be probably a 5-10 minute flight, but you can go out and actually fly.
That's pretty cool.
It's real cool.
Yeah.
And then there will be food trucks there. So you absolutely lots of a variety of food to be out there. So if you go to our website, the Military Affairs Council, Western Pennsylvania, it has all the things that will be there, and you can get and we're on all the social media as well.
Okay, so some of the vehicles that are going to be there on the ground, we talked about some of the ones that are going to be doing fly-ins, but tell us about some of these vehicles, because there are some pretty cool ones, and then there's some opportunities for maybe kids to hold some of the military-style weapons and things like that?
Absolutely. Right. Everything will be open, and you can go in and actually sit in the vehicles that our soldiers are conducting their operations in. So we're all familiar with the Humvee. That one's been around for a long time. Right. We will have several versions of the Humvee. An asset like that can be just for transport, or they can put weapons on top of it to launch weapons. But then the replacement for that is the JLTV, which is Joint Light Tactical Vehicle. That's a really, really neat. It's a little bit bigger, sits a little bit higher, and so the whole design of it was to overcome all the problems that we had with the Humvees over in the Middle East. So that will be there. You'll be able to get into it, sit in the vehicle. There's a little restrictive, some things that you can actually take pictures of it or not, but you will be able to get your picture out in front of it for sure, and be able to talk to the soldiers who conduct their operations in it.
So who makes that? It looks like an old Ford front end on that thing.
Well, you got me there. I'm an aviator, so I'm not sure exactly who it is.
It's kind of cool.
But
all right.
I'm sure you can get on the web and find out exactly who makes it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, all right. So let's talk about, you were talking about on the website from last year's event, some of the military, weapons that people can actually handle and do things like that. So tell us a little bit about that.
That was a huge hit last year. So they actually brought out the machine guns and some of the heavier machine guns for display, and you can actually go pick it up, talk to the soldiers about how it works. We have lots of pictures of everyone actually handling the weapons on our website, but we'll have the M2 50 cal machine gun. So that's one of the lighter ones, but then we get into the sniper rifles that we'll have. And as I said, we actually have the howitzers, which are the cannons. We have the 105 millimeter and the 155 millimeter. And that's cool. We're actually going to fire them.
That's what my daughter did in the service.
Is that right?
Yeah. So when then she went into supply after that, but when she first went in, she used to shoot the howitzer. She would do the radar or something for it, and she was in the service. So,
and some other things, if I may, we're also going to, not so much just the weapons, but we're actually going to show some of the traditions of the military as well. We're going to have the military colors presenting, and then the national anthem. And so the way that we present the flags when we do the national anthem, and a lot of the customs and courtesies that we display, that will be on the show as well. So it's not just about the assets, it's a little bit about our culture and how we conduct ourselves both on and off the battlefield.
So we're talking about planes, but I see here we're also going to have a Black Hawk helicopter.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So the Johnstown Army Guard is bringing out an H-60 from their unit, and so they were here last year, and it'll be on display. So you'll actually get to be able to get into the helicopter, sit in the seats, and talk to the aircrew members that fly it.
That's pretty cool. All right. So what other vehicles are we going to have? I see a high mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicle.
Yeah. So that's just another version of the Humvee. It actually becomes a ambulance.
Okay.
And so the Humvee is very versatile. So that will be one of the variations of it. But we also have the version, the M1167, which has the actual cannons on top of it. It actually looks like more like a Gatling gun.
Yep.
And so there will be some various vehicles on the ground. So if you get onto our social media, it's got all of them listed there.
That's pretty cool. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit. You mentioned it earlier. A couple planes from one from the 911 Air Wing, and then the other one from the 171st Air Refueling Wing that they're going to be flying over as well.
Yes, they will be doing the fly of it. So the C-17 is a transport aircraft that these guys actually just got back from the Middle East. They were over there in two locations. One was where the wing staff was, and one was where the operational staff was. But these guys are out there flying around the world, but they were concentrated in the Middle East. And a lot of these guys have been around for a while. all the way back into the opening days of the war on terrorism. So some of them will be available to come up and have discussions about what they did. And then the 171st, that's the KC-135. This is the whole key to air power as far as sustainability. So these are basically flying gas stations. They go up and they can refuel fighters, bombers, transports. They really are a key to the global reach of the United States Air Force.
It's cool where we live at here in Beaver County, because a lot of times you'll see them refueling a plane like over Beaver County somewhere, and if you look up in the sky. So it'd be neat to seeing those planes up in the sky and seeing that big arm come down and refuel the plane. But it'll be cool that you can actually see them up close doing a flyover. So that'd be kind of neat.
I wish we could demonstrate it right in front of the crowd of the air refueling, but unfortunately the regulations don't permit it. So what they'll do is there are actually the two planes that will be flying over are actually going up to do training. So when the planes go up, they just can't go up for an air show.
Right.
That's not it. So you have to tie it into an operational or training type of mission. So Colonel Highland, who's the commander of the 171st, said, hey, we're going to put a jet up for training that day. Would you like it for a flyover? I said, absolutely. So he called over to the 911th. Colonel Sopko's in charge of it now. He's like, yeah, we'll put one up as well. So they agreed to go up and do some training, and then as a byproduct of that, they'll do flyovers at the airport there, which is also, the Beaver County Airport is a tower-controlled airport, which actually has students in the tower. It's part of the CCBC program. So that's going to be a great opportunity for them to be dealing with big jets that do their flyby. And any chance we have in the military. So I have my plane to Beaver County. I have a little Cessna. But when I did my Finney flight in the C-130, Beaver County was my last stop. I did a flyby over the runway. So we love flying over our hometown airport in the big airplanes.
What's the biggest plane you ever flew?
So the 737 is the biggest plane I've flown. The variants go up to 196,000 pounds there, over 180 passengers. So that's the biggest plane. But the biggest plane in the military was the C-130.
Okay. All right, we're visiting this morning with Chuck Sargent. We're talking about the military exposition that's going to be coming to the Beaver County Airport on September the 20th. And we're going to take a short break. Noah's going to have news for us, and then we'll have more with Chuck right after news here on Beaver County Radio. Transportation are on the move, and they're coming your way with the best Beaver County has to offer. You're listening to Beaver County Radio, proudly presented by Fry Transportation.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, September 13th from 10 to 5 to spend the day at the Beaver County Airport for the first ever Drive and Fly Aviation and Classic Car Show at the Air Heritage Aviation Museum. Falcone's Moon Township Ford will present Beaver County Radio's live broadcast throughout the show. There will be hot rods, hot planes, food trucks, a chance auction, tons of fun, and great oldies being played by Beaver County Radio's Frank Sparks and Curtis Walsh. You can also spin the Beaver County Radio birthday prize wheel for your chance to win some really cool prizes. Beaver County Radio's live broadcast at the Air Heritage Aviation Museum is being presented by Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends. It's also brought to you by McLean's Roofing, the Community College of Beaver County, and Beaver County Radio.
A lot has changed since 1885. That's when my great-grandfather, William Andrew Hartzell, opened the doors to our family-owned and operated funeral home. This is William F. Rick Murphy from the William Murphy Funeral Home Incorporated in Rochester. Together with my son, Brian C. Murphy, we represent a business that is now flourishing into its fifth generation. Throughout that time, we've had the pleasure of experiencing many of local memories that have made Rochester and the surrounding area so great. I'll bet many of you can easily recall the H.C. Fry Glassworks, Barnett's Bootery, or even Kaufman's Department Store with its massive double-decker parking lot.
To put things in perspective, my family was already serving others at their time of need before the automobile had even been invented and the aforementioned businesses started and ended. Our commitment to serve our community with dignity and compassion has allowed the William Murphy Funeral Home, Inc. to preserve a business legacy that spans nearly 140 years, and we're still here. To contact us, visit our website at William Murphy Funeral Home, Inc. or call 724-775-0309.
Has your classic car or hot rod seen better days? Just call me, Dave Rodenbaugh, and my team at the Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company. The full-service hot rod shop offers it all. Everything from custom fabrication and restoration to regular maintenance and collision repair. With over 40 years of experience, there isn't a job too big or too small. The Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company's enclosed trailer service ensures safe transit for your ride during any season. The Pennsylvania Hot Rod Company is located at 6th Street in Beaver Falls. Visit pahotrod.com or call 412-719-4950.
This is Greg Brown, broadcaster for the Pittsburgh Pirates, here to remind you that Moon Township Ford is your premier destination for all your automotive needs in western Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. Browse through their new Ford models and gently used vehicles of all makes and models. Check out their website or visit them on University Boulevard in Moon Township. Whether it's a home run at the ballpark or a vehicle from Moon Township Ford, the excitement is the same. Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning. On this Wednesday, September 3rd of 2025, we will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. According to a release from Pennsylvania Attorney General Dave Sunday's office, Sunday, in conjunction with federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, announced charges against two people trafficking $110,000 worth of cocaine from out of state to western Pennsylvania. 5 kilograms of cocaine were recovered from a vehicle on Saturday in Beaver Falls after it was stopped by Patterson Township Police, the Pennsylvania State Police, investigators from the Drug Enforcement Administration, and agents from the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General. 45-year-old Darnell Lawson and 31-year-old Taylor Suggs, both of Ohio, got a charge of felony drug trafficking. The investigation into this incident is ongoing, and $1 million was how much the bail was for each person. Pennsylvania State Police in Newcastle report that a man from Sharon, Pennsylvania, caused a single-vehicle crash after he crashed his motorcycle on Saturday in Wilmington Township of Lawrence County. 54-year-old Michael Brakeman crashed near 277 State Route 18 in Lawrence County when he got thrown from the motorcycle that he was operating. Brakeman also did not have a helmet on at the time of the crash. According to police, Brakeman got flown from the scene to St. Elizabeth Hospital in Youngstown, Ohio, for a suspected serious injury. Pennsylvania State Police in Beaver report that an unidentified 27-year-old man from New Brighton was arrested in Darlington Township on Sunday for providing a false identification to law enforcement. According to police, this man got arrested was stopped by police for committing summary traffic violations on the 4000 block of Darlington Road and provided a fake identification to police, and the appropriate charges against this man will be filed against him. Old Economy Village in Ambridge will host the 15th annual Crush and Brew event from 5 to 8 p.m. on Saturday, September 6th. This event has fermenters of mead, beer, and wine along with food, live music from the Jimmy Adler Band, and a chance to hang out with the local community. Tickets are $35 and can be bought either in person at Rivertown Antiques in Ambridge, which is open each day from 12 noon to 4 p.m., or at eventbrite.com, eventbrite.com. You can also call 412-855-0511 to get involved with the event. Someone recently bought a Pennsylvania lottery ticket for Monday's drawing of the Pennsylvania Lottery in Lower Merion Township, Pennsylvania, outside Philadelphia at an Acme supermarket and won $1 million. According to Pennsylvania lottery officials, that ticket matched all 5 white balls drawn on Monday, which were 8, 23, 25, 40, and 53. This happened not long after a resident of Pennsylvania won $1 million on a Powerball ticket for Saturday's Powerball drawing. According to Pennsylvania lottery officials, a $1 million winning ticket was sold at a Turkey Hill store in Pequea Township of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. The winning numbers that this person matched, despite not matching the red Powerball 17 for Saturday's drawing, were 3, 18, 22, 27, and 33. And Mayor Paige Cognetti, the mayor of Scranton, Pennsylvania, announced her bid for Congress yesterday. The Democratic mayor already has support from the Democratic governor of Pennsylvania, Governor Josh Shapiro, as she will challenge Republican Representative Rob Bresnahan. Democrat Bob Brooks, who is the head of the State Firefighters Union in Pennsylvania, also made his statement for candidacy last week to challenge Republican Representative Ryan McKenzie.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Another lovely sunny day is in store for us. We'll see highs near 82. Mostly clear and mild tonight. We'll drop down to a low around 60. Cloudy and breezy tomorrow with showers and thunderstorms likely off and on throughout the day and evening. Look for highs near 70 and lows around 52. And mostly sunny and breezy on Friday with a chance of rain and thunderstorms in the evening through the overnight. Expect highs near 80 and lows in the mid-50s. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Wednesday, September 3rd of 2025, at 40 minutes after 10, we've got a temperature of 68 degrees currently in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230, WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Welcome to Live Mike with Mike Romai. This is the show that talks about what's happening in Beaver County. Noah Haswell will have news at the top and bottom of each hour. Now, here is the host of the show, Mike Romai.
All right, I'm Frank Sparks in for Mike Romai today, visiting with Chuck Sargent. He is... They're putting on a Beaver County Airport. They're putting on a military expo coming up on September the 20th. And Chuck, what are the hours of the military expo? I guess we should ask you that to start with.
Yeah, so the event will start at 10 a.m. and go all the way to 3 p.m. So we'll open up the gates at 10 o'clock, and then at 11 o'clock we'll actually kick off with a little bit of festivities. We're going to have Marissa McKenzie come sing the national anthem, and that'll be in conjunction with the color guard presenting the colors. So there'll be some military demonstrations of their precision. And then from there, it'll go all the way to 3 o'clock. The flyovers, it's subject to their schedule, their training. So you can't really count on anything yet. But once we get things a little bit more firm, as you walk in, you'll see what's coming up. But a couple of things as are going on, we're going to be selling T-shirts, but we don't have a lot. So if you want to buy a T-shirt, you want to get there early. So that's one thing we'll have for sale, as well as, remember, we'll have the food trucks available. They'll have gyros, snow cones, and things of that nature.
Well, you're on a straight line from where we're at, so they're welcome to fly over here during our car cruise too if they'd like to.
I'll mention some to the guys. I will mention some to the guys.
Yeah, we've had the C-47 from Air Heritage. They actually flew over Tom Gargaro, who you know.
Sure.
He did it for a birthday present for me. They were on a training mission.
Wow.
So our last car cruise, the C-47 flew right over top our car cruise.
They have some amazing aircraft there, and that C-47 is a thing of beauty.
But they're welcome. I mean, like I said, they can fly right on over here. It's direct path to the airport.
I'll see what I can do. No promises.
Yeah. So, so let's talk about, is there any cost to go?
It's absolutely free. Okay. There's nothing for, no charge for admission, no charge for parking.
Okay.
But we do ask, there are some rules that we'll have for people coming in because of the military assets and security. So it's basically the same rules that you'll have if you're going to go into a Pirates game or a Steeler game. You can't bring in coolers or anything of that nature. The bags, if you're going to bring a bag, it needs to be a clear bag. Diaper bags are okay. But you have to be reasonable about it. So the parking's free, the admission is free, and that's really about the rules for engagement. So if you get on our website or our social media, it'll give you the rules very specifically. But just think, if I'm going to the Pirate game, what would I bring in and not?
So because usually can be a little tight out there. Where are people supposed to park at?
So when you enter the airport area, off to the right, you'll see a big grass area, which is right next to the community college there. That's where all the parking will be. Okay. And so you'll be able to park there, the walk-in. There will be security. So we will be using wands and metal detectors to make sure, and going through the bags just to make sure that they're safe, and which brings up our staff. So the people who are running this show, these are the same people that ran the air show all these years. So we're actually pretty good at what we do, and we have a working knowledge of it. So I'd really want to give a huge shout out to our team of everyone who's putting this together. It's about safety, security, and logistics. So they've all done a really, really nice job with that. Also want to give a big shout out to the Chippewa Police and the Beaver County Sheriff's Department. They've been working with our security folks because traffic, the Beaver County Airport was not meant to have that many people coming in there. So we really have thought through, and our planners, Frank Powell and Jimmy Larkin, park and have been working with the cops about a good flow of traffic. So, and quite frankly, people probably won't stay for the whole time because after a while you've seen it and you'll move on. So it'll be transitory in nature. So a lot of good things to see out there.
I know back in the 90s, we used to have air shows out there every year.
Right.
So,
I remember that.
Yeah. So
they were a lot of fun. This really would be, I don't want to speak on behalf of the board of directors, but I think I would hope they would consider that to bring the show back, because with both the event that's prior on the 13th, the Wings and Wheels, as well as our military exposition, we're starting to bring the airport alive again as far as public events. And that would be neat if we could get the air show going again at Beaver County, because I remember those shows. Yeah. They were cool. Yeah,
that was awesome. I mean, to have the hangars open and just it was a fun day. And those ones there, as a kid, I remember, and I say a kid, but I was like teenager, a little older. At that point, you kind of did hang out all day. It was fun. There was activities, there was music, there was food to eat, and it was just a good time had by all. So with this being said, and with all this going on, obviously you have to have the security because you're going to have basically what are active military vehicles there as well.
Yes.
So when it comes to like some of the different activities that are going on, I've seen you have other things that you can test, like your if you wanted to, you could test like your athletic skills on blow up basketballs, things like that. So different activities of that type.
Sure. So that's where the recruiters come in. They have a lot of fun things. They have a climbing wall as well as basketball shot, and then the ground forces they'll have physical fitness tests. So if you want to test your mettle on the pull up bars, they'll have those things to go.
Sweet.
So you get a little flavor of what it's like to be in the military. It's very, very much oriented around physical fitness, and so there's opportunities to test your mettle and see if this is really something for you, because quite frankly, only about 1 in 200 Americans serve in the military. So it's not for everyone. But if it's something that interests you and you think maybe it's something you want to do, this is an opportunity to come out and hear the stories of the people who are doing it, or those of us older ones who have done it, because it's a great experience. It really it really developed me as a person, and I've grew so much because of it. And so you can go out and find out about those opportunities to help you grow and reach your potential in life.
So besides recruiters that will be there, is there going to be recruiters from every different branch of the services?
Yes. Okay. So there'll be all 6 branches. So we'll actually have a presence from the Space Force as well. So,
wow.
Yeah. So down at Pitt, the ROTC is both Air Force and Space Force cadets. So they'll be out there talking about what the Space Force is all about, and of course the Coast Guard. So when we always think of the big 4: Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Navy, but the Coast Guard and the Space Force will have a presence there as well. So that's a great opportunity to come out and find out about what they do. And I neglected the naval assets. Everyone thinks it's an airport. We're not going to have much of Navy. We actually had boats at the show last year, which were a huge hit. They came from the Coast Guard, and the Navy says that they will bring some smaller vehicles, some actually watercraft out there to be out there for you to look and explore and talk to the people who operate it.
That's pretty cool. So are there going to be, because you could talk to the recruiter, and the recruiter will talk to you and say, hey, this is what you want to do, but will there be active military guys out there as well, soldiers, that people can talk to say, hey, so why are you in this, and why would it be a good fit for me?
As much as all the assets are really neat to look at, it's the people that are the most important. And we will have dozens and dozens and dozens, I'd say over 50 people in uniform there for us to go up and talk to, hear their stories, ask questions. If you ever wonder what it's like to be over there living in a tent or be out on patrol for 30 days on your feet, it's, when you hear these stories, you just can't, it's not unfathomable. I talk to guys like 30 days out there with nowhere, no hotel, it's where do you sleep? Because wherever we can.
Yeah.
And, to go through the night, some people have to stay up and watch and be on watch while other people sleep. And they're quite remarkable stories.
They're a cut above, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Some of the stories I hear, I'm like, I don't know if I could ever do that, but I guess when you're faced with it, you can do just about anything.
Absolutely. And it's the opportunities that come, there's things that you can't even predict. And that's the neat thing about the stories. You can read you watch the movies over and over, but then things just come out of left field, and the stories of how they handle those things are incredible. And so, the opportunities are there. We focus a lot on the younger people coming out of high school, but there's also opportunities for officers as well. So if you're a college graduate and you're looking for an opportunity, you can go join the active duty and do it full time, or you can be in the Guard and Reserve as both an officer and enlisted. And so there's different opportunities for everyone there. So that's important to emphasize. There's whatever you like to do in this world, there's something you can do that in the military in some fashion or form.
That's cool. All right, we're visiting this morning with Chuck Sargent, and Chuck is part of, they're doing a military expo out at the Beaver County Airport. He's the chairman of Military Affairs Council of Western Pennsylvania. And we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back with more, and we'll recap everything and let you know why you need to go to the Beaver County Airport 2 weekends in a row here on Beaver County Radio.
Mark your calendars for Saturday, September 13th from 10 to 5 to spend the day at the Beaver County Airport for the first ever Drive and Fly Aviation and Classic Car Show at the Air Heritage Aviation Museum. Falcone's Moon Township Ford will present Beaver County Radio's live broadcast throughout the show. There will be hot rods, hot planes, food trucks, a chance auction, tons of fun, and great oldies being played by Beaver County Radio's Frank Sparks and Curtis Walsh. You can also spin the Beaver County Radio birthday prize wheel for your chance to win some really cool prizes. Beaver County Radio's live broadcast at the Air Heritage Aviation Museum is being presented by Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends. It's also brought to you by McLean's Roofing, the Community College of Beaver County, and Beaver County Radio.
Everybody knows that credit unions are a better deal because they are nonprofit and member-owned institutions. But did you know that at Freedom United Federal Credit Union, we have over 150 sponsor groups and almost 7,000 members? This is Kaylin Smith, and I just discovered some of this myself. I'll bet you didn't know that all of our members receive an automatic $3,000 accidental death life insurance policy just for joining our family. It is true. You really can get something for nothing. Here's another fun fact. The Rochester office on Adams Street used to be home to the American Legion, and that's where all those fabled Legion dances took place. Whatever the reason, come see us today. Freedom United Federal Credit Union, where the interest is in you. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Your success is our success. We belong to you.
Join a team that's been making a difference for over a century. St. Barnabas Health System is hiring full-time security officers for night shifts in Gibsonia and Valencia. Work 12-hour shifts from 8:30 p.m. to 8:30 a.m., plus every other weekend, and earn competitive pay starting at $17 an hour plus shift differential. Enjoy full benefits, flexible scheduling, and the satisfaction of helping keep residents safe in a respected and growing healthcare system. Take the next step in your career. Apply now at stbarnabashealthsystem.com/careers or call 724-444-JOBS.
Tune into the all-new Falcone's Moon Township Ford Coach's Corner every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. The show is hosted by Mike Azadian and will feature a local coach each week. The show will be video live streamed on the Beaver County Radio Facebook page and YouTube channel. The Falcone's Moon Township Ford Coach's Corner is being brought to you in part by the St. Barnabas Health System, the Fry Transportation Group, the Community College of Beaver County, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Vape and Roll With It, Carver Construction, and Beaver County Radio.
One of the greatest honors a person can receive is to be gathered with their people at the time of their passing. Even biblical authors, when they wanted to explain what it meant to have lived a great, prosperous, and meaningful life, spoke of the individual as having lived a long time and being gathered with friends and relatives near as they closed out their twilight years. Being gathered together with loved ones is something that the J&J Spratt Funeral Home takes very seriously as well. The comfort both given and received cannot be underestimated. J&J Spratt Funeral Home also knows that the honor shown to a loved one at their time of need in this manner is still the right thing to do today. J&J Spratt Funeral Home has been gathering together with area families for 4 generations and looks forward to honoring future residents deserving of being gathered together with friends and family. Click jjsprattfh.com.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
Have you ever found something interesting that makes you go, oh? Then tune in every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 p.m. on Beaver County Radio for the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury. Orlana relates her views about informing, inspiring, and entertaining headlines that makes the world go round in interviews with local influencers that make you go, oh. The episode will be on Beaver County Radio Facebook and YouTube pages, so make sure to join the Oh Show with Orlana Dawkins Drury every other Tuesday from 5 to 5:30 right here on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP.
Tune in to Beaver County Radio after the Friday night football game for the Falcones Moon Township Ford wrap-up show. Beaver County Radio's Mike Azadian and Ryan Garazunas will have the scores, standings, and any news from the games. They will also take your phone call so you can talk about your favorite team. The Falcones Moon Township Ford wrap-up show is being brought to you by Electric Garage Door Sales, Forward RX, Patriot Home Care, the YMCA, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, All Access Automotive, Drug Free Aliquippa, the St. Barnabas Health System, the Fry Transportation Group, the Community College of Beaver County, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Vape and Roll With It, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Carver Construction, Falcones Moon Township Ford, and Beaver County Radio 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com.
The perfect mix of country and rock and roll. You're listening to The Beaver, 1460 AM, 95.7 FM.
All right, we're back here on Beaver County Radio. It's live. Mike in for Mike. Frank Sparks in for live for Mike Romai this morning, and visiting this morning with Chuck Sargent. He is part of the military expo that's going on at the Beaver County Airport on September the 20th. And Chuck, do you want to give a little bit? We got about 4 minutes left. Do you want to give a little bit of recap about everything that's going to be happening on September 20th? Parking, security with the bags, and anything else you want to throw in?
Sure. So again, it's a free event, free parking from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Saturday the 20th. We're going to have military vehicles there. We're going to have military aircraft flying over. A lot of military traditions will be on display with our color guard. We have Marissa McKenzie singing the national anthem for that. So it's really a display of what's going on with the military right now, both in assets and traditions. But it's something for everyone. Our real goal is to have people find out about our military. We really would like to recruit people right now to come in and join. That's the main thrust of it. But it's also for the future generations as well. We're going to have things for the little kids. So if the moms are out there and they don't have anything to do, bring your kids out here. We're going to have face painting. We're going to have snow cones. And it's important for, I'm an inspiration of air shows inspired me as a young person to become a pilot later on. We're planting the seeds for those people as well. So it's for the young people. We'll also have handicap parking and transportation for people that can't get around as well. So we really want everyone is absolutely welcome to come. And we hope to see everyone there on Saturday the 20th.
Food trucks and all that good stuff.
Food trucks will actually have plenty of porta potties, so there's no worrying about that either. So we're trying to make it as comfortable for everyone.
Lots of displays for the kids and anybody that wants to come just hang out and check out some really neat things.
Airplanes, ground vehicles, weapons, but the most important thing is talking to the people. We're going to have people with the active duty, guard, and reserve out there from all the branches there that you can go up and ask questions and find out a little bit about their story, and more importantly, is this something for you?
All right, anybody you want to thank for helping put this on? I know Alan Bross and Ford and Falcones Moon Township Ford has been a huge part of that. They're a huge part of our broadcast that day as well. Also CCBC.
So Ford and Falcone have been a huge supporter not only of these events but over the air shows for all these years. I can't say enough thanks to them, as well as the Pennsylvania Military Community Enhancement Commission. They're underwriting this, and then sure CCBC, Air Heritage, a lot of the neighbors in the local area, as well as the Beaver County Sheriff's Department and the Chippewa Police. They've all been a huge support of it, but it really comes down to the most important is my staff. The staff that of all of us that have been running air shows for all these years who chip in. They're the unsung heroes. I'm just saying thanks. You guys all know who you are. thank you so much for everything you do.
So if somebody wants to get more information, how can they do that?
So you can go on the Military Affairs Council Western Pennsylvania website, but we're also on social media. If you have one of our flyers out there, the QR code will take you to I think they call it the social media tree, where you can go to Instagram and Facebook. We're everywhere. So if you look up Military Expo in Beaver County, that should be enough to get you there.
Hopefully this, between the fly and drive and the Military Expo, hopefully this kind of puts that last kick in it that they bring the air show back every year to Beaver County.
I would love to see that. That would be my hope, but I don't know of any formal plans, but I'm just secretly hoping that one day we can get there.
We all do.
Yes, right?
So, that's cool to watch airplanes. All right. Thanks again. It's a pleasure meeting you. It's a pleasure spending an hour with you here on Beaver County Radio.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for helping us tell our story.
Absolutely. All right. Coming up next, we will have Town Hall News, followed by Local News with Noah Haswell. And then I will be back with hour number 2. We're going to talk about McDonald's, because McDonald's is bringing us lunch today. A new golden sauce coming out. I'll let you know what it tastes like.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.